When you think about street kids, what usually comes to mind? Kids wandering the streets, dirty, sleeping in doorways, begging for change. That might be true for some of us, but it's not true for all of us all the time. Some of us really want to change. Some of us are really working for that change, like we did in the Theater of Liberation's workshop program. Because there's nothing beautiful about living on the streets.
I'm Marc Weinblatt, the co-artistic director of the Seattle Public Theater.
And I'm Karen, one of the team participants of the Theater of Liberation workshop.
In January of 1996, Seattle Public Theater, in conjunction with local agencies working with street youth, conducted an intensive week-long theater workshop with youth from the Seattle area who were or had been at one time homeless. Lead facilitators for the project were Seattle Public Theater co-artistic director Marc Weinblatt and company member Cheryl Harrison, with assistance from Ozula Sue. Other facilitators included staff from the participating agencies.
So I promised you my love, that I'd be there for you. Money isn't everything. It's the love. That's what I want to give you.
Using a dynamic array of games, physical imagery techniques, and improvisation, the youth explored issues of personal and collective importance.
What's missing? What's missing from this picture? What do you feel is important to complete the image of family?
At the end of the workshop, we performed for a public audience.
The workshop was based on Theater of Liberation techniques. Theater of Liberation was originally developed by Brazilian Augusto Boal in the 60s to help oppressed peasants explore solutions to their problems. Known internationally as Theater of the Oppressed, it is now used all over the world for social and political activism, conflict resolution, community building, and therapy. The work is designed for non-actors, so even someone who has never done any acting can quickly become comfortable with exploring Theater of Liberation.
Well, Theater of Liberation is all about empowering people to have a greater effect on their own lives. Helping these kids make positive changes in their lives was probably our most important goal.
We loosened up. We got a chance to realize how creative we could be. It gave us a sense of accomplishment. We got together and built a sense of respect for each other. It made us feel better about ourselves.
You know, so and it's like with this project, what I'm hoping to do is to send a message out to others whose lives are going down and, want to pick them up to let them know that there is somebody out there that cares.
Additional goals for the project included the opportunity for agencies with a similar mission to work together, to create public awareness and education, to provide a forum for this often invisible population to have a voice, and to provide leadership training for the youth as well as agency staff members.
The workshop got us off the streets, we got fed, and we had fun.
Yeah, this is 1 week that I've got something to do all day long and I won't be out in the cold. And as soon as it's over, it's time.
As with all of our workshops, we began with a big group circle for introductions and to give everyone an overview of the project.
This is theater, but it's also not just theater. It's using theater as a tool to affect change, to affect social, personal, and political change. The work that we do is called...
Then we all came up with an agreement for working together.
Everybody, it's really useful to have some agreement, some people call them rules, ground rules, whatever, guidelines that we can all agree to abide by, do our best to abide by to help things go a little bit smoother. So what we want to do now is take suggestions.
Well, we find it's very important to have these agreements so the group actually decides together how they want to go about doing this process and how we all want to work together.
Number 8, use I statements as opposed to speaking for everyone. Speak for yourself. Number 9 is confidentiality. Number 10 is self-regulating and the right to pass. Number 11, which I just added, is...
Then the group moved into a series of warm-up exercises and games designed to help people get to know each other, have fun, stimulate awareness, set the tone, and establish community.
The word is help.
Well, then we start to do techniques and exercises to get the group thinking about issues of importance, both individually and collectively. Okay, 2 in the afternoon. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a typical day.
Hi, Teresa.
Typical day. What are you doing on Tuesday?
This workshop brought up a lot of feelings for us. So afterwards, we would take time to talk about those feelings that we had.
And so we just wanted to have a discussion about this last exercise we just did. What kind of things came up for you? What kind of things did you discover? What kind of things would you like to share with the group?
I figured out my days are quite boring. I don't do much. I sleep a lot. But
The theater of liberation techniques can be pretty intense, and a lot of powerful stuff did come up. We always debrief after these techniques so the group can process it, get a better understanding of what's going on for them, and then integrate it into their lives.
I started to cry, and I saw tears build up in Zach's eyes too. And it was like, damn, if my mom would only say that to me. If she would just only say that to me. If she would only put out her arms like that and just say that to me. You know? And it's like...
Sometimes it would just get too heavy and everybody just needed a break. So then we'd go back to some of the funner games like freeze tag and things to just get our minds at ease.
Even though we're tackling some pretty serious issues, the process is remarkably playful. We usually laugh a lot.
Now feel the spirit. Let there be healed. Welcome, man. Welcome.
It was now time to move to the larger image structures to deepen the exploration of the issues and possible methods of self-empowerment.
A lot of this work and a lot of what we're going to end up doing on Saturday is about gaining power. Well, let's do a little exploration of what that means to you right now. So what I'd like to do, we'll have three...
Well, one of my favorite exercises is called the Great Game of Power. In this, the group takes turns arranging a table, 6 chairs, and a bottle so that one chair is in the most powerful position. They then place themselves in the image to try to take the most powerful position. Okay, has Karen taken power? No. A lot of interesting revelations came up for the group around what is power and how can I get some.
All right, Karen came in here and did something fascinating. She changed them. They were frozen. They were doing what they were doing. She came in and changed them, right? But the whole point of this work is, and that's with forum theater, you can't change the other person. You have to assume that they're going to do what they're going to do, and how can you take power? What can you do to take the power? So,
but towards the end of the week, we did a structure called the Rainbow of Desire, which had a very profound effect on the kids. In the rainbow, a relationship of tension between two people is unpeeled to reveal the various fears and desires that are happening in their heads. Group members then embody these different emotions so that we can see what makes people act the way they do.
Anybody out there understand another desire that Mom has here? Cheryl, okay? Do you accept or reject that?
I accept that.
Okay.
A lot of issues around family seem to keep coming up, especially around parents. The work we did with the Rainbow of Desire, it really helped kids dealing with those issues.
And it was so real. It made me feel better to listen to this and to watch this, because now maybe I can go home and actually be able to talk to my mom.
By day 5 of the workshop, it was time to wind down the explorations and start to determine what we were going to do for the public performance at the end of the week. We experimented with the material gathered over the first few days and came up with something to show the audience.
We decided on a few things to present as forum theater to the audience.
Forum theater draws the audience into the exploration of ideas and solutions. In forum theater, a scene is performed once as written. It is then started a second time, at which point the audience is invited to stop the scene, come up on stage, take the place of the character they feel is lacking power, and improvise their solutions. The scene can be replayed again and again and again, and individual perspectives become collective wisdom.
People who do
drugs have sensitive eyes.
You know about, never mind, I don't want to go there, 'cause you know I do not do drugs.
Those pupils are not really large to me.
Freeze. Freeze. We got it. Okay. Stage fright, just tell me where you want to take it from.
Robin, your eyes are extremely large.
Is that night, last night watching videos?
I'm surprised you weren't punching more holes in your face. Those piercings are absolutely disgusting.
How do you expect?
On the last day, we polished the scenes for the performance that we would be doing on that evening.
It was important that the kids knew that they were not only actors at this point, but also educators, facilitators themselves for the audience as the audience joined in the exploration.
We are no longer, yes, we are actors, but we're also educators. When you're doing this scene, we are here now to help reflect back what the audience is going through, because we have done our thing all week on Saturday night.
Only those of us who wanted to participated in the public performance. In the beginning, there were 22 kids who started off. By the end, there were only 15, but we all wanted to perform.
Most of these kids have never acted before, and they had to deal with an incredible variety of responses from the audience. There's an audience of over 200 people, and the kids were just extraordinary.
You smoke cigarettes, you punch holes in your face, you wear enough makeup to be in a circus.
You obviously don't like me.
We like you. We love you. It's just the lifestyle that you're picking for yourself.
I'm trying to tell you that I need your help.
What would you like us to do?
I'd like you to be real parents to me. I'd like you to pay attention to me. I'd like you to talk to me. Instead of just preaching at me and going to meetings all the time and trying to figure out what's wrong with me.
We'll try.
By the end of the performance, we were happy that the audience was so involved and really liked what we were doing. But we were kind of sad too because the whole project was over.
This was true community theater, created by these kids, about these kids, and for these kids. In addition, an actual community was created in one short week together.
I mean, coming here, and I'm opening myself up by saying this, but coming here and doing this whole project for this week was the first time I've ever felt love. What it feels like, what love feels like. Not just other people loving me, but me loving myself. Coming here was the first time I ever experienced